Hello, everybody, and welcome to QuickBooks Lab podcast, the UK's #1 QuickBooks podcast, because we're the only QuickBooks podcast, but that's fine. Recording monthly as we explore tips, tricks, and shortcuts to streamline your QuickBooks experience. And what an episode we have today. Today is an episode all about Intuit Connect 2024 and all of the announcements that they made, including some significant ones, which we're going to jump into. My name is Aaron Patrick. I'm one of your hosts. I'm the QuickBooks chap on YouTube. I'm the newly crowned Digital Disruptor Award 2024 and the hero behind the hero award from Accounting Excellence Awards as well. So very, very good. I have a panel of experts with me. So Simon, do you want to introduce yourself first, to who you are and why you're here?
Why am I here? I don't want to stop. Who am I? I am the software advisory manager at Wilkins & Smith, top 10 firm in the UK. We deal with anything from QuickBooks to ERP. So we cover all bases. So happy to chat about everything. And newly crowned Chaser Accounting Partner of the Year. So it's award season, clearly. Last time we announced it, we were being nominated. Now we won it. So yeah, it's a good start. And then
well done. Well done. Very, very, very well done. We're loving that. And Amy, who are you? Why are you here?
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Hancock. I am an auditor and accountant for Hancock and Hastings. And I don't have an award. So please feel free to make one up for me, or, I'll make one up myself. Next
you're
time.
the hashtag Audit Amy, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I've been hashtag Audit Amy. And I think I'll be using that for the foreseeable future.
Loving it. We will. I mean, let's be honest. You're an award winner in our eyes. You've got yourself a top trumps card. We just need to collect it, don't we?
Yeah.
And same as you, Simon, actually, thinking about that one. We are live to the world. The session is at its semi-regular time of whenever we can fit it in. So if you're listening back to this time at a late date, why not think about joining us live? Just like Kirsty's done. Yes, she made it in. Well done, Kirsty. Hello, welcome to your... So we're looking forward to some podcasts with you in the coming weeks. So keep an eye on that on our social channels. But if you can't get to us live, then make sure that you join us on the podcasting service of your choice, where you can ask some questions, get some information in. But if you do join us live, you can ask those questions live there and then. Right, we've got a lot to talk about today, including Intuit Connect 2024. We'll talk about why it's called Intuit Connect 2024. But first and foremost, Susanna's here as well. Is here as well. Hello, Susanna. Hope you are doing well. Yes, let's go straight into this one, because I think there is some very important updates that I would love to get the people's opinion on. So let's transition. Let's get the little short done and get straight into it. Intuit Connect 2024 has been and gone, and we have some big updates, including probably one of the biggest updates we've ever had to our banking screen, and we're very particular about our banking screen. So let's go and see exactly what it's like. And if you've never seen any of our full long form content with QuickBooks Labs, this is a very important one to come along and watch. So use the links below, find a way to join us on the full video and see exactly what these updates are all about. Let's get straight into it. Hello, what the flip's sake.
It'll take us 6 months to get it right, but we get that.
StreamYard have had this really great update lately where the intros come in perfectly, the outros come in perfectly, but they just don't like they've just not made it ready for us. Right, okay. Speaking of, actually, I think I've got the wrong screen up anyway. Let's go with what was announced and what we can do. So if for anyone who doesn't know, there's three videos up at the moment. One of them's like a general update of the world of Intuit and stock prices and all that sort of stuff. So we'll ignore that one for now. The second one was all about basically explaining what Intuit Connect was going to be. So first of all, Intuit Connect, what you guys think about the new name, the new push for it? Their idea is it's not just about QuickBooks now, it's about the whole Intuit family. Is that a good thing, bad thing? Do you think the UK is going to follow suit? Who wants to go first?
I think it makes sense, like to have everything in one place, like from other products, and especially if they go into that mid-market. I want to individually the mid-market thing is that they've got, and going to other events of similar sized companies, they cover everything, right? They're not just focused on just one small product that's in their grand scheme of things. They talk about how they're all linked together and it's all one ecosystem and all that side of things. That's the direction they're going, really. And I'm all for that.
Do you think it's coming to UK like that as well, Amy? What do you think?
I think it will. I think they're really pushing MailChimp our way a bit this year. So I think actually coming through and being able to, the smaller businesses being able to see and use all the integrations and all the products that are coming out, I think it will be branded as Intuit will probably encourage us to look more at the other options. I mean, personally, I've looked at MailChimp, but I've never used it. So if there's more integration, it's going to make my life easier. I'm going to use it and I'm going to promote it to my clients as well.
I mean, hold that thought, because some news that came out from Intuit Connect will make you very excited with MailChimp.
Not MailChimp, it's the Credit Karma stuff. It's all those other things that they've got. But
yeah, US, they've got so much more in their platform, haven't they?
Yeah.
I do worry a little bit that it takes the emphasis away from QuickBooks. Like that's what we. But is that necessarily a bad thing? Like if we
depends how they structure it.
Yeah.
Like, do they have most of them might have a big keynote to begin with, and so and then go into specific products like breakout sort of things. That works really well. And then you can go and see which ones you think are relevant or you want to find more out about. Like you don't necessarily have to go to the QuickBooks one.
Yeah.
Like when people want to go and see QuickBooks Enterprise when they've got no clients for QuickBooks Enterprise, where they just want to go, right, we just want online.
True. That's true. And when you think about how it used to be QuickBooks Connect, like we're talking 5 years ago, whenever it was, they used to have accountants was day one and everyone day two sort of idea, right? This way, I suppose you don't need to split it up like that, because you've got accountants, MailChimp, marketing, clients, all sorts just coming through the door, right? And I suppose it opens it up for, especially from a networking point of view, we should get a lot more out of it, right? Like, and it makes the event very different to Accountex, very different to Digital Accounting Show, very different to ZeroCon, right? Like it becomes this whole event of just entrepreneurs and people in the business industry coming together to listen about their products, whatever they want to do. So there's definitely a positive there, isn't there?
They also shrunk it down a few days. Because I went to one in America 9 years ago, maybe, and it was like 5 days.
5 days.
The whole of the town was painted in QuickBooks green. Like I've never seen it. Like if you can imagine, like Accountex for a week, and every banner on the lamppost was a QuickBooks banner, and they had billboards being driven around the town. So did they need that many days? No. But everyone went. So I know obviously America is going to be a lot bigger than here, but you had people flying all the way across the states. Obviously I was there from the UK, but you had people from Australia and everywhere coming to that flagship sort of thing. So whether they go back to doing that, I don't know, or which means you'd lose the UK one and maybe have smaller UK ones. I don't know.
Well, we did lose the UK one this year, right? Like we've not had one. And one thing when I was watching Intuit Connect is just sat there feeling really jealous that we've not had one this year. Because it is an impactful one. If you go back to the 2023, which is the last one we properly had as a QuickBooks Connect event, where the stage and everything else, they nailed it. They won the hearts and mind of accountants. That's what they did. Now, The debate is, have they delivered on that yet? Probably not. There's probably room for talking about exactly how that was actually delivered and everything else. But the emphasis of what they were talking about on stage and what they wanted to do and where they want to take the product and everything else, nailed it, like beat for beat for beat.
You can't do that at a digital accountancy show or Accountex. You don't have that amount of time, and there's lots of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing, I think, because you could end up with way too many events in the UK.
Which we're almost at saturation at already, right?
I think we're getting to that. I think we are. There's lots of events that are exactly the same thing, just with different branding on the top.
Yeah. So we'll see what the future holds. But Interconnect 2024 was in full swing. And Dave, I might butcher this, Dave Talalak came up on stage to talk about all of the new features that have come into QuickBooks. And honestly, I've sat and watched loads of these in the past. I think this was one of the ones where there were a lot more impactful updates. One of the things they said is QuickBooks power users. 65% of the QuickBooks out there are connected to clients. I would have thought that'd be higher, but yeah, 65%. Yeah, 60%. I suppose that's globally, right? So I suppose
America, they don't. You have QuickBooks just to do taxes, don't you? So they might not have an account.
Apparently, the biggest cheer that happened in the last Intuit or QuickBooks Connected would have been was for some adjustments that were just over efficiency. So like literal, really small updates that were coming through that just made your life easier. We talk about them all the time on this, right? Those are the ones that got the biggest cheers last year, not the big flashy new stuff. It was those bigger updates. So they wanted to bring more things. Their slogan is that no improvement is too small and no idea is too big. So that's where they're trying to take the going through. Now, the big one though, before they go on the big one, actually, there was a few things they were talking about how they've updated all these there's all these updates that come through. So let me quickly go and show screen. Oh, that's there. Let me make this as big as I possibly can. So the whole list of all these budgets that they've gone through. So that was nice, kind of start to the proceedings, right? Of all these new things that come in and all these bits that are coming through, new KPIs, expense reporting, Etsy integration, all that was great. So we're round of applause, great. And they were saying like these are the things that are getting more important reception and feedback. The big change though was the update to the banking screen. So they put this on. Can I make this any bigger? There we are. That's as big as I can make it. So they wanted to emphasize how the new banking screen is going to look. As you can see on the screen here, their idea is to make it so that you don't have to click into the transaction anymore. From what I can tell, there's still the option to click in, because I think I've seen there's a screenshot we're going to look at in a bit where it looks like you can still click in, but they want to try and take away the need for clicking in so that you could do it all from this one line. They're going to be pushing, as you can imagine, onto QuickBooks Intuit Assist. They're going to be really bringing that in so that they're starting to bring more of that data in, and we should be able to know straight away if Intuit Assist has been involved or not. As you can see here, client meals has brought up a little thing on there. On the right hand side, you've got categorize and match sat there, so you can quickly do it line by line. The action button seems like there's some options there. You can drop that down and bring that directly in without having to go into each individual transaction. So with this being probably the most important aspect we ever touch when it comes to QuickBooks interacting with clients and what our clients use the most, what's your initial reactions to the new bank feed? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. It doesn't look as pretty for me. I know that's really superficial, but I'm like, it doesn't look as pretty. I mean,
are you comparing that to QuickBooks Now, or are you comparing that to another solution?
Now. No, QuickBooks Now. I just think it looks a little bit more, like the older ones. But anyway, I think will it make it quicker? One less click maybe to get the box to expand. Yeah, I'm for it. One less click. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Simon, what's your initial
That was
reaction?
exactly my thought. Anything that's less clicks to get to the same place is always a good thing, right?
Yeah, this is a one less click thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so your initial reaction is positive, yeah, Simon?
Yeah. There's no negative to it. We'll touch on the negatives maybe in a bit, but on something else. But no, why would you, if you can just, you have to click and select category. It makes sense to me.
Yep. I agree. I think it looks good. I think this is very, very like they've definitely learned from QuickBooks Sole Trader or Solopreneur, whatever they want. Like they're trying to make that simplified view. From a training point of view, this would be so much easier to train, right? Not having to go in and click in and explain all that to do. Big cheer came from the fact that I don't know why it keeps going small. Let me make it bigger for us. Big cheer came from the fact that you can now add columns, which we can do now, but they are columns we can interact with. So if you are bringing class and locations, as they've shown here, you will then just be able to make those changes there and then and update them there, which we love to see. The other thing is, and this got a huge cheer, was that if you make these updates to a client, the next time you come back to the client, the updates will still be there.
Until you delete your cookies.
Yeah. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they finally listened to Charlie's shame. Charlie's not here today.
We'll see. That's if they add tags to that, even better.
Tags are dead. Tags are gone.
Yeah. One useful thing that was useful that is gone.
We love tags. I was speaking to the team from America the other day about the sole trader stuff and everything else, and I mentioned how it's just a shame we've lost tags, and they were like, wait, someone actually used tags? I was like, yeah, I think a lot of us use tags. I just don't think you were talking to us who was using them. That was the problem, right? So that's how it goes. Another big cheer was
we showed to obviously you have more custom fields available in advanced. Like, can you add those columns in as well?
Oh, that is a good call. I don't know. We don't know yet, right? We've not played around with it, but that would be ideal, right? If we could bring anything we want into here. Yeah.
You're gonna need, if you've got like date fields and things like that, you want to do them here. You don't want to do the transaction, then back out, back in. Yeah.
100%. I don't think that's a great call. I'm really intrigued what you think this button does.
Full screens it.
Full screens it. Oh, in fact, that's what's here, isn't it? Right? That's full screen there, maybe.
Yeah. Just takes up the whole screen, gets rid of everything.
I like that.
That'd be good. Less scrolling as well.
Yeah.
Less clicks,
agreed.
less scrolling.
Agreed. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. Right. This also got a nice cheer. So if we look back at this screen here, for flip's sake, come on. Look at this screen here, and we looked at the fact that we had these little Intuit Assist kind of markings to say, look, Intuit Assist got involved here. We've made a decision. Ultimately, it's now your choice to make if we've made the right decision or not, but here's to help you go along. Or how about the fact it actually tells you why it made that decision, what drove it to make that decision, including a link to where it's got the information from. So the example they were saying here was, why have they put client meals to this? Because it looks more like a hotel or something, or I can't remember exactly the story that they were telling, but they were saying you click into it, you go into here, and it tells you this is why they've made that decision. Suggested client based on the full bank description. What do you think?
I love it.
I love that. The amount of times I've had a client hasn't sent you the receipt or something, and it comes through as gobbledygook. You don't know where it is, and you spend time on Google. You're searching on Google.
That's exactly what they said. You spend most of your time going back and forward to Google, right?
Exactly.
Or not even going to Google, or sending it back to the client and going, what is this?
Yeah.
They just come back and go, I don't know. That was last week.
Exactly.
So I love that. That's going to save time.
And we do get a little sneak of when you click into it here. So it looks like categorize and match are now gone from the top. So that's you just got to learn to deal with that. But everything else is there. And then to take it one step further, it brings in that really useful, I'm having a nightmare here. that really useful new feature where we got categorization history comes up in here. So it's telling us previous transactions similar. We paid it here and paid it there. So that's the insight. That's part of this Intuit Assist, that AI element that it gives us that confidence, right? Like it gives us confidence of what's it doing? Why is it doing this? What's going on? And I think this is a great way of being able to kind of see that.
Yeah, because at the moment it does suggest things, but there's no rationale behind it. You don't know what it's looking at, basically. Do you? So sometimes it suggests things based on previous things, but you go, that's still not right.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Kirsty says, what, so we can leave notes for ourselves, like the discuss box? Oh, do you reckon that could come in? And then Kirsty says also, looks very helpful to identify the random payments. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, the more they can give us is to explain why. Now, is
that's
there
much more useful AI? Like that's much more useful than some of the stuff we've seen from everyone.
My question would be though, what if we need to make the adjustment? How can we tell them that actually you made this wrong, right? You've made the wrong assumption, blah, 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 blah. What feedback loop could we have there, if any?
I would wonder if you change the posting, it's automatically feeding back into the program, into the generative, and it's going, actually, we think it's this, but actually it's a slightly different spelling of the one that's in our database, therefore it's something different.
Yeah. And this whole previous transaction, great for that one client, but what about for the rest of your firm?
Yep.
Is there a way that can lean into there and say, because most of the time we have quite similar clients, right? Because we're marketing to those particular clients and we bring them in, we've got our niches or whatever it's going to be. So if it can start learning that previously on previous account, not just on this client, but on previous accountants you've there, that's where I can see this being super powerful, right?
Just got to be careful on data sharing and things like that, haven't they?
But they keep it nice and generic.
Yeah. There's
potential there, right?
Yeah, you got a data lake behind it. Just anonymize the client names, right?
Exactly. Then they spoke about something we're really excited to talk about because we've not really been able to talk about it properly. And this is their new business feed area. So I've got a feeling that they've got more information later about exactly what business feed is. But what they're showing here, you can see, is they've got a load of transactions that are coming through, and they've got here a drag and drop area to bring information into the transaction. Okay, so they're talking about on stage about what sort of examples, and I thought this example was absolutely brilliant. So the example they're showing here is a handwritten note. So you'd literally gone in and explained that this is a kitchen job and they want to put this in and they want to add this in. You add this to this area, then it generates the invoice based on the handwritten note. So this is OCR technology on a completely new level, right? Like this is absolute, like, doesn't make sense in our comprehension of what our OCR technology can do now, right? And we've seen this in other iterations as well. So this is coming into an invoice. This left-hand view here, we've seen as in purchase invoices and bills and expenses and bringing stuff in there. What's our general thought then of this new AI generated data going in?
Makes sense. This makes sense, isn't it? Like, you know, if you've got lots of people, I think that industry is probably the prime example, or going to be the one that's going to use it the most. Like they're going out, they've got their notebook or whatever, and they're scribbling down what needs to be done. And then, I can't see every industry using it, but yeah, you know, that industry, you know, heaters, plumbers, construction, that sort of thing makes perfect sense.
When you're showing this, that's all I think about is my construction industry clients and how they are still do things manually. I still have one client that uses the carbon copy invoices.
Yeah.
That don't necessarily get scanned right at the moment, but if this can read handwritten notes of, we need this timber, this. Yeah, amazing.
huge, isn't it? They even
Yeah.
showcased that it wasn't just from the app. So the idea would be that there's a QR code and you just take a photo and off to the races. So I think personally they should keep just pushing it through the app because brings people in there and it gets them to use and everything else. But the fact that they're opening this up to multiple ways to get this source data in, really,
I mean, that's
exciting.
quite neat handwriting. I like to see it do something really bad.
It's got no chance of mine. Not a chance.
I was going to say, we've got one that's very similar to Amy's and we've tried everything to try and scan it and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You just end up typing it. So this is
idea,
amazing.
But the idea of having this little preview page on the left of the item that you've got in, and your preview page is on the left, whatever the transactions on the right. So not just invoices, but bills, expenses, whatever it's going to be. That's the most ultimate OCR technology in the world, right?
And I'm assuming they're going to, obviously, you can then attach that to the sales invoice like you can with attachments at the moment, or just ignore it.
Yeah.
So.
It's there. They call it autofill. And it's just one of the examples of where I really see the AI being so powerful, right? Like, and what else could do that realistically? What other platform? Yes, you've got Sage and you've got auto entry, but they're separate products, right? And they want to keep them separate because that's how they want to build it.
You see more
Zero's got
mid-market stuff. That's where you tend to see more of it.
Of this type of so you like account execute IQs and all those ones, those sort of solutions,
sort of those ones upwards where they've got a lot more of disparate systems and things like that.
But bringing this down to your plumbers and everything else is just going to be so powerful of them, right? Another example of how AI was going to be utilized going forward was this Intuit AI option here, was sending reminder emails. So instead of just a generic email that gets sent out, they can put some context behind it. So 22 paid invoices, 2 late payments, 1 coming due, 3 overdue, customer since December 2018, blah, 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 blah. And then they make a email generated on all that information.
Yeah. So
Makes sense, right?
time again.
Yeah. And I imagine they'll be able to find these for you, tell you that these are outstanding. Do you know what I mean? Like give you the prompts to say, by the way, we've got this email that this invoice is 22 days overdue. This is what we think you should send to him. Yes or no. And just make that process so much easier than what it is now, that yes, you can automate it and you can set it to automatically go through. What I would love to see this be able to do is also check to make sure that
there's nothing in the bank that's been matched.
Exactly. Exactly. Because that's what we need, right? Like we need that something to come along and just check for us before we start sending these out. So it's a great example, I think, of how the AI is going to be going forward.
I like the formal because obviously there's going to be a drop down, hopefully, to have informal, like jokey. No, not that you would want a jokey.
Informal, send the boys around.
Aggressive, is that what you want? One of the drop downs to be. Final chance. But I'm loving it. And they keep showing everywhere this business feed at the top right. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. I can't remember exactly what this next one was for. It got the reason I included it is because it got a huge cheer. And it was trying to make it out that they're going to be able to be spotting things like Venmo, items like that much more easily. I have noticed as well here, you can see straight away the files straight on screen as well. So I think that's going to be quite powerful, right? Like the fact that we can see that they've got attachments there from receipt capture or wherever it's come from. But this one here is all about they're going to be better off or better at doing third-party income than they've ever done before. So we'll test that. We'll see. I'm dubious, but we'll see there. Normally, this is the sort of thing you do a rule right to a control account and you deal with it in a control account. Like if they can streamline that for us, great, but we'll see how that goes. Then they showed off how they are going to give the clients much more opportunities to amend transactions. Now, I did notice that they changed the word from for review again to pending. Are we happy
I like
with
that.
that?
I
Yeah.
prefer that.
I think
Pending.
Yeah.
I mean, they like changing this name.
Because for review, that doesn't suggest that they're just like, oh yeah, we've coded
This is
everything.
true.
But they
This
haven't.
is true.
So
That is very true.
Indifferent.
Same but different. Yeah.
So the idea here is they're showing off their edit more options than we've ever had before. So you can go through here, and they did say that, I don't know what it must be, say posted, right? Pending and posted must be the
posted,
other key. Yeah. They did say as well, when they're in the posted, you're going to be able to do exactly this again to multiple transactions, which we kind of have the option to do now, but it always feels like it's a little bit broken, right? And there's a little bit of it doesn't always work, and there's only certain things we can change and everything else. And maybe for the UK as well, we'll get the opportunity to change the VAT element as well, which will be really nice for us to go in.
Yeah.
I like the change to posted as well. I prefer that.
Pending and posted. Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah.
Because if you say you are posting this, by the way, you're not,
it's posted. Yeah. Well, which is, I definitely agree that's better than categorized, right? Because categorized doesn't, like, you have to teach every client what that means, right?
Exactly.
Then they went on to, which I don't believe is anything new, but they wanted to tell everyone about their advanced accounting in QuickBooks Advanced. So I was a little bit disappointed. I was expecting personally of loads of QuickBooks.
Did you touch on the products and services appearing in the bank screen?
No, we'll talk about that. But that's maybe that's UK only, maybe. But no, they didn't want to.
It is on there. I saw it on there. But yeah, we'll carry on. And
okay, cool. Yeah, so then the next bit was QuickBooks Advanced. They only had 2 updates for QuickBooks Advanced, which I thought was a little bit disappointing. And not only was there only 2 updates, but I think they're exactly the same as what we already have. So first one was revenue recognition. So they were basically just showing it. That looks very similar to what we had.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah, I can't think there. I mean, I don't use it day in, day out. So maybe there has some subtle changes, but I don't think there's anything majorly new there. It works well.
We can obviously edit the amounts, so you can have a bigger upfront payment and do different values over each month. Yeah.
But I suppose the fact that it's in this area is new, right? Because normally it's in the individual customers. You have to go in, find it, and
so you can do individual customers still, but this has been in the UK for a while in this separate screen,
having their own area. Yeah. So I suppose that is, a new thing they've pushed there. Amy, but do you have any clients on Advance? I can't remember if we've.
No, I don't have any on Advance. I've been put on Advance, but I've not explored it to this extent.
And I mean, for accountants, this could be really powerful for us, right?
Yeah.
Let's get a whip done, properly, or whatever we want it. Like, there's definitely rooms there for us accountants to start using it. And then they showed off their fixed asset register, which I don't understand why anyone was cheering. If I'm completely honest. At that point, I was concerned. Is this canned laughter that we've got? There's a lot of cheers, but I'm not sure this one. But I mean, it's had a little bit of an update, hasn't it? There's a bit more information you get up here, etc., etc. But I don't think
better than no fixed asset register.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
This is like QuickBooks Advanced feature. If we can talk this to the cows come home, right? Like, if this was in QuickBooks Simple Start, I had no issue with it whatsoever. But yeah, being through from there. All right, and unfortunately, that was it for QuickBooks Advanced, which I was
I think we expect a lot more in Advanced. It's 3 times the price of Plus.
Isn't it also now 2 years old in the US?
Yep.
Or is it longer? Is it now 3?
Yeah, you'd expect there to be a lot more feet. Yes, there's obviously all the customization, and you get more chart of accounts, and you get more locations and more classes, but but there's not enough extra module stuff to really justify it still.
Yeah.
Especially as you now got enterprise, which we're not talking much about, but that then sits above that. And like we said in the last pod, there doesn't seem to be a lot more extra on top of advanced in enterprise from what we've seen. So
yeah, 100%. The next update was to QBOA. So this was nice. Listen to feedback, and they're now going to give us more granular choices for our team members, so we can go in, start creating, editing, things like this. Brilliant. That's exactly what we need, right? I think that was just a moan that they've heard, and now they're giving opportunities to bring it in. So yeah, happy with that. Good to see. They talked about a accountant. I was saying this on off air what it was called. It was the accountants
Jamboree.
Delight Jam. I call it Jamboree.
Yeah, that's all.
And this is a great initiative they have in the US. You said before, Simon, haven't you, that you've been to one of them before? So it looks like they've brought this back. And the idea here is that they're getting accountants in a room, figuring out what the problems are, and just fixing those small little bugs and issues and workflow problems that we've got and bringing there. So let's hope, let's see this come into the UK. Let's see this being more of a common thing, right?
It was the precursor we've done on accounting councils, the D for D sessions.
Yes. Yeah.
It was almost like when we did it in the States, we did something like this first and then did a D for D session. So you took some of the issues that people said, right, how do we fix that? Right, let's design it. So yeah, it was great because you got to see it from start to finish. Like what someone said the problem is, right, how do we solve it? Let's build it, almost in the same session.
I love it.
So yeah,
I love
some of those in the UK for UK specific problems would be amazing, right?
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, because we all know, right? There's little bugs here, little things there, little just frustrations there. I mean, Kirsty's in the chat. She's been telling, she's always got something that says that she would like to fix and stuff. I think just having that opportunity to feedback is amazing. What came out of that was an opportunity to look at improving the QuickBooks Online area. So I'm really excited for this option. So the idea here is let's implement a client console. So the idea here is that we can bring in more impactful information that we have, right? Financial insights, I assume driven by QuickBooks Assist, Intuit Assist, bookkeeping insights, again, Intuit Assist, and payroll insights are going to go there. The bit that really excited me was then you could go into it and see more financial insights as well. So they've got showing here that you can kind of go in, see revenue, expenses, all this sort of stuff, information, without having to go into the client. So it's almost like that overview screen on steroids, but something we can see on a client by client basis. What do you think to this?
They've copied someone's homework, haven't they?
I don't know what you mean. Are we going with Dex position by any chance?
Well, we could start with it. So Dex position obviously is there. Then Xero have now got Xero Insights, which is live. That's
of course.
A light version of Dex position. And I guess this looks very similar to Xero Insights. No way around it. And then obviously it's even got the same sort of thing of go to the client reports. Because Xero's one go, you click on go to my snapshot and it gives you a snapshot PDF report of everything you can kind of see on the. What would be interesting is if you add, obviously you got the customize up the top there, is add in your own measurements. Because that's the only problem with the Xero one, right? It's got the set 10 columns and you can't change any of them, and some of them are useful and some of them aren't. So whether that can be like those custom KPIs, because like current ratio, they keep putting it in there, but none of our clients are looking at that.
No.
Like I want to know like debtor days and all that sort of stuff. That's the useful stuff. So yes, they've copied someone's homework, but are they improving it by having that customized in there? And
Amy, what do you think?
Groups and things like that as well. So,
like
ones we look after, ones that clients do themselves, and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is that's what this bit's for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've as my practice has grown, I've kind of got to a point where I'm like, right, I needed something, and I have been exploring the Dex Precisions and the other ones out there. So actually having it within QuickBooks will save time going into another software, save me some subscription money. And the client, can the client see this for themselves?
No, this is
No,
QuickBooks Accountant area, yeah, QBOA, which it looks like they're turning into Intuit Accountant Suite going forward.
Oh yeah.
Well,
if you can create a pack from this of a kind of a one pager that you could provide to your clients, maybe I'm going a little bit too far, but it was that print preview, wasn't there?
I don't think this ever for clients.
The Zero version does. It takes you into, and they've got like a set of like a 3-page PDF report that's got like some nice graphs and a bit of, like a P&L that I think they call it business snapshot. It's a business snapshot report or something like that. That's always been in Zero, but no one's really used it, right? They're always just going to a P&L, but it's because that's the one it takes you to straight away. So it'd be interesting if that go to client reports is which reports is it taking you to, or is it just taking you to all of the reports?
It will just go to it's just going to go straight to the client report area, right?
The business snapshot isn't a report anymore, is it? It's
not going to be
over things like that, isn't it? And when we did that business snapshot in QuickBooks, it was that old QuickBooks desktop report. If you remember that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's the share button, top right.
There is a share button. There's an export button.
Yeah.
I think for me, I love this. Like, this is something I've been asking and crying for such a long time, right? Like, let's get that holistic view of all our clients and give us opportunity. What I am desperate for this to be available, though, is on API, because if we have opportunities to connect solutions like a practice management solution, whatever it's going to be, into this, then this is going to be something, because it's great being here, but sometimes it's almost restricted being here because there's not much we can do with it, right? But if we could bring in transaction numbers and stuff like that into here,
because they've got that in every single license, right?
Yeah, and it's in QB practice manager, right?
That was that's the one advantage that you can easily see in the QuickBooks license compared to others, is like, this is the number of transactions we've got, right? But if this is now going to be called Accountant Suite, if you're using QuickBooks Practice Manager, is that coming into here, and is that going to start sorting this information directly into workflows and like your onboarding and all of that in QuickBooks Practice Manager? That's where you want to end up, right? That's where they need to end up. Yeah,
because you need this information to start making sure we're billing our clients right. Yeah. If if we've got set that we're doing, I don't know, a revenue of this or a transactions of that, we want to be told, oh, by the way, your client's now above those thresholds or whatever it's going to be. That's the secret sauce, and having the information there. And I know, like Kirsty says here, that using Xenon would show them even if you're on Zero or QuickBooks is definitely. But the problem is you have to attach each individual client, go through that rigmarole, which is just
precision, right? You go through, connect every single, and you do have that, but each one's APIs are different, so you get certain different information.
They fall off every time, and then you have to go and reconnect them. And also, like you're saying now with the APIs, we don't get the same information, right? I just feel like this here, this is going to be gold dust to get into your practice management solution or into your Zen onto the world or wherever it's going to go. Like, this is the stuff that I think is so impactful for us, right? They also showed, and the same idea of this whole Intuit Accounting Suite idea in the upgrades to there is a books close functionality. So coming in here, you've got the option here to see all your clients, see the due date. I don't know where they're going to get that due date from, but it'd be interesting where that due date's from. Period due date, assigned to, status, task done. So that information that we bring from our books review area, they want to bring this on holistic view. Again, I hope, I don't see the client type here, which is a shame, but I hope we do get the opportunity to kind of see that and be able to filter that down, right? We use that books review area because we love putting it there. This is an opportunity where we can see in a nice list where we are with those clients, who's kind of done and all that sort of stuff, and gives you a chance to kind of do from there. Thoughts on this area?
So
We don't use it, so I'm not going to comment.
I'm just thinking in terms of practice manager, QuickBooks Practice Manager has that as well. So is it creating a link between the books review and the practice manager?
I think two things here though, isn't it? Is practice manager is only UK based, so we're privileged to have that opportunity, right? So from the US point of view, they have nothing like this. So I suppose that's there.
Yeah.
And B, it's still only a partnership, that one. So I don't know if that's like a long term, this is the solution forever, or is it this is a stopgap for the UK market to see what the uptake on it's going to be.
I think it's a case of watch that space.
Yes. 100%.
All I'm going to say.
100%. But yeah, look.
It's good. It's good. It's good to see everything in one place, see where you are with it. I'm assuming hoping due date could do some company's house integration, maybe if it's a year end or
at least just add 9 months to a year end, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if this is more aimed at, like, I know in the US they don't have this, but for the UK, is it more aimed at the VAT market, maybe? Because they can get that information easy, right? Like that information is MTD driven for them.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no, Practice Manager has linked company's house, so
it does. Yeah.
Yes,
But
this
again,
was like
Amy's side of, is it just as long as you don't end up with the same information in 2 places, and you have to, say for instance you are using Practice Manager and then you've got this as well. They've got to be connected, right? Otherwise you're going to have to complete one and then go back and complete the other, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare.
This is why I thought maybe in the UK it would be a link between books review and the Practice Manager.
Or this page doesn't exist in the UK and it all is in Practice Manager is the other option.
Yeah. Okay, then we moved on to I need to figure out what this is called now. Intuit. They haven't got a name yet. That's why. So they've redesigned. They want to redesign the whole QuickBooks, MailChimp, all of those sort of experiences, and they're going to bring it into one platform for businesses who are using both, which is obviously going to be a great thing. And they're calling it Intuit Home at the moment, by the looks of it. And the idea here is you get all of this information, that business feeds coming back again. You got customers, marketing, sales, data, bills, expenses, bookkeeping, lending and checking. So you got basically all your functionality, but instead of having to jump between different ones, you're going to be able to do it all from here. And one of their biggest bits where they said is kind of the advantage would be is you can see contacts and you're getting all of that wonderful information, like when people took a call, transactions coming through from individual areas, and the customers and all that sort of stuff there. So thoughts on Intuit Home, I think they're going to call it?
I think for the clients it's that portal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would we call it a client portal? Probably, maybe. But more like it's more for the end user, isn't it, rather than us as accountants?
100%. I suppose unless your practice is running MailChimp as their marketing suite, right?
Yeah, unless you're doing that, which but for the end users, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Go in there, do this, everything's there, right? If you're a small finance, if you're a sole trade, one-man band kind of thing, don't have specific marketing teams and finance teams, and makes sense, really, doesn't it?
Yep. The amount of information that they're bringing on this individual contact that came in was immense, right? Like all this information, all this gold dust coming in. This is, to me, where Intuit Assist, the whole acquisition of MailChimp and everything starts to come to the forefront, right? Like this is where it's all coming down to. If you can get your clients on board with this whole idea of being part of this ecosystem, there's a lot of opportunity there, isn't there, to help clients grow, help clients get to the next stage. Like this is a huge area, I think, and I think as accountants, especially in the UK, we'll be pushing for this, right?
Yeah, and even that, well, didn't you start doing, obviously, if you've got your CRM, which is basically what we're seeing here, and it's got, right, this is all the stuff we've done before. They owe us before, if you have got this person about to do that sale, they can see all the history. Oh, do they still owe us money? What's their credit score?
Yeah.
Before you even do another job for them, you can actually go, that salesperson who doesn't need to see the finance system, or you don't want to see the finance system, can have all the relevant information they need to make a decision.
Yeah. And the amount of information here is just wow, isn't it, really?
But Amy, what do you think? That's the power of it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Amy, what's your opinion of it?
I'm thinking my small business clients that are using HubSpot, all these different Invoice Simple, all these different things with QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Having everything in one ecosystem, and especially with Assist, with their notes, as just saw in a section, MailChimp notes, that then is able to pull through to QuickBooks to generate the invoice, and it all interlinks like that. Ability to do things on your mobile app a lot more as well. It's a no-brainer for them to have everything together. It's going to save so much time for the smaller. So, well, if it comes down to the sole traders, great as well.
Yeah, we talked about it a while back, didn't we? App overload.
Yeah.
Because you just got one
having
place
it all together will be amazing. All working seamlessly and integrating.
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
They should do, because they're all on Intuit.
Yeah. And Intuit bought a calendar app and a call handling app.
You did see appointments on there, and I thought, oh, is it going to link with 365 or Google? Is that how?
Or is it their own? I think it's their own. Because they also bought a Zoom competitor to do like call handling, Zoom video calls and all that sort of stuff. So you'd imagine that's where this would go into. And you get that whole thing. Intuit Assist could then have that meeting and transcribe that meeting for them and bring that information directly into that client. There's a lot of power there, right? So yeah, well excited to see how that's going to come forward. So overall then, what's your opinion on Intuit Connect 2024? Yay or nay? What are we saying?
Yay.
Yeah.
I wish I was there.
I know, right? I know. Surely, as the Accounting Council, they should have just sent us over. Like, we could have done a QuickBooks Labs directly from there. Surely we could have. You know what I mean?
Next year.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame it's in Vegas. It's a shame we would have to go there. Obviously, boohoo and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, no.
I'll have to sort out the childcare just to get over there. But I feel like it sounds like, with the cheers and everything that was announced, it sounds like somewhere an excitable place to be.
Yeah. I mean, other than lack of QuickBooks Advance updates, I think that was a really, really powerful one. And you compare it to what others have updated and shown off at their conferences this year, I think they've had a really strong year in terms of those sort of updates. So yeah, it's good to see. Let's hope, fingers crossed, we get a QuickBooks Connect or an Intuit Connect in the UK at the very least, because there's a lot to talk about there, a lot to bring that in and going through from there. Small quick update before we move on to big news is there is a update to the banking area in QuickBooks Online. I should really do the whole thing and do the short and everything, but yeah, we're running out of time here, so let's just go straight into it. QuickBooks Connect, QuickBooks banking area has had an update. You can now put in your product and service directly on the bank account. So if we add this thing here, just quickly show this area. So we've got that one there showing you that you can now not only put your category directly in, so this is us creating an expense, but you can also put your product and service directly there. Great if you're using stock management and all that sort of stuff. And also if you go into your split, you get to split at the top for category and split at the top for products and services. What's everyone's initial reaction on this one?
I don't think I'll be using it that much, because most of my clients would have a bill or an invoice. So you would have done the product and service within the bill or the invoice. So I'd actually be a little bit concerned if they were doing it directly from the expense, especially if they, for stock management, you wouldn't really want them to do that. So I don't think it will get used that much amongst my clients or me. I use QuickBooks for our own practice. I don't think I'd use that because I'm doing all on invoice based.
Yeah. Simon?
Unless you're using, I'm not a big fan of the product. You would, like I said, you would be, since the only time I think I could use it for stock is, say, for instance, you are like I don't know, like a little coffee truck or something like that. And obviously you buy your stock, most of your stuff from wholesale, then maybe you run out one day and you run to Tesco's and have to buy
milk.
Milk. That would be, you might do that, but the only other thing I can think of is people potentially using products and services for something that isn't a product or a service, just to do some reporting. Some sort of workaround.
Some niche workaround,
to track something that you can't, you've run out of locations, classes, you haven't got tags anymore. So what do we do? Let's use services just to do some reporting. Might be the other thing I can kind of think of people doing. But I'm with Amy, like most of the time it's going to be through bills.
See, my concern here, go for it, Amy.
I was just going to say, on the receipt thing that Simon said, you'd like to think they'd get the receipt and do receipt snap. So,
but I imagine it's in receipt snap now as well. You could do products and service in there potentially. We're not checked, but my concern about this is we haven't looked to see what SKU this comes in, and I assume it's essentials and above, isn't it? That's when product and services become a thing. Although this isn't just stock management, is it? This is to help with the where it's going to appear on the tax on the profit and loss account and for those reports. So maybe it could even be in simple start potentially. But my concern is this just not going to confuse people? Like having the or there, it's like, well, am I putting a category or am I putting a product? So product service is one of those polarizing areas within QuickBooks anyway, right? We force our users to use products and services. We like to say it's because of all the benefits, and there are lots of benefits of putting products and services in. Keeps it all the same. You get to have a better experience of creating invoices, blah, blah, blah. We can keep going of why we force people to use it, but it is confusing to the end consumer for a lot of people, right? What does product and services actually mean? And now suddenly we're kind of throwing it into the bank screen as well, and it's like, ouch. Like there's going to be some people who are going to be so confused about, what do I put a category or do I put a product and service? Why am I being given the choice? Like which is which?
I think it should be one or the other.
Yeah,
and in the settings somewhere you say, do I want one or the other?
Yeah. And I don't, from what I can tell, I can't find a setting to turn this off. And even if we did put a setting to turn it off, I imagine it'll be one of those that doesn't turn off fully. And then
no, it's not.
I mean, when the new bank screen that you showed earlier comes in, hopefully we can customize it to take that column out.
True.
So you just have the category. But you're right, having an extra box of clients that doing their own bookkeeping, I'll probably get some questions about it. And most of my clients don't actually use it. So I'm like, ignore it.
Yeah.
Because when you're having to spend time to say ignore it.
Exactly. So when you create a product and service, you can have the option of saying, where do you want this appearing on your P&L? Like you can go through that.
That was my thought. Is it a precursor for ITSA? In that your client, if they're too big for simple for thingy, what do you want to call it? Sole trader.
Yeah.
That product service becomes some sort of category that they know what it is, but in the background, it's mapped to the tax return boxes. That way, your client doesn't have to have knowledge of what their chart of accounts is.
Yeah.
They just map it and go, yeah, cool, that's X, Y, Z as a category.
Yeah.
And then in the background, it's doing what it needs to do.
Interesting. And it could, because I've seen, actually, no, not seen. I've not seen anything. Moving
but that's what's going to be needed, right?
I get that feeling, but yeah, I think they're going down a different route for it at this point in time. But I think your way of doing it is a much more elegant route that they're looking to do at this point in time.
Of course it is.
So
All the elegance comes from this 3 people on this call. They just don't ask us about it.
Well, yeah, we've not been to the Jamboree, as I keep trying to call it.
I quite like. We should read. Let's just create one in the UK.
The UK one should be the Jamboree. Yeah.
QuickBooks Labs Jamboree.
Brilliant. All right. Final bit of news for this week, then, as we are at time. We have just seen some amazing implementations of Intuit Assist. We can all agree on that, right? Looking good. So what if I tell you that you now, as of 9:30 on Monday, have the opportunity to go and get yourself signed up for the waiting list for Intuit Assist UK, not the US, the UK one. Exciting times all around, right? Let's go around the room. Who is excited about having the opportunity to go on a waiting list for Intuit UK? Intuit Assist.
I'm excited to go on a waiting list.
I've done it.
Start, Simon. Amy, are you excited? Have you signed up?
I have signed up. I actually signed up whilst in Disneyland. That's how excited I was.
The greatest place on earth. And you had the opportunity to sign up.
The greatest place on earth, and I signed up. I was that excited in the queue for Tower of Terror.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I saw it come through, and I thought I need a piece of that in my life to make my life a bit easier. So if I can trial it, feedback, yeah, it'll be good. Let's hope I make the cut.
Well, they have said they were expecting more than 5 million. Oh no, sorry, have I butchered that?
That's more than licenses.
3 million. Intuit Assist to 3 million in a matter of weeks. They want to put it live too. Simon, are you excited and did you sign up?
I haven't signed up, but I am I'm excited, but I want to I know like what we're showing today, what we've discussed today, you know, it's a step on from what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
But obviously they were just we've just shown screenshots of the US that probably were screenshots. So let's see it in practice, because we've all been there with various AI assistants, and half the time it's quicker just to do the thing that you've asked it to do in the background.
And a UK model and a US model are going to be vastly different, right?
Correct. And also, which screens are they going to enable it on? Is the other thing.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see it. I think the one I want to play around the most is that OCR element of it all. But I've always said, like, for me, Intuit Assist, I'm almost more excited at the MailChimp opportunities than I am as the QuickBooks opportunities. I think it's brilliant, but yeah, I just feel like there's going to be so much more impact that can be done with Intuit Assist with MailChimp.
We talked about it before, you know, various things about if they brought into the like VAT screens and stuff like that, and the consequences of that potentially. Yeah. So that's why I'm sort of sitting on the fence still. Like, what screens is it going to appear in? What is it going to start suggesting, and where? That's what I would be concerned about, or at least, you know, that's why we want to test it, right? And then it's feeding it back and making sure that feedback gets accepted, or, you know, at least something done about it.
And what's your view on this being on a wait list? Because when I announced this at 9:30 during Ask the Accountant's main one, my co-host was very upset about the fact that this is just a wait list, and, you know, why can't we play with the full thing straight away? Blah 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 blah. But am I being naive here, thinking that this is something we have to take our time with? We have to get it right. We can't rush.
Yep.
Like, this has to be something that has to be in a controlled environment, right?
When you've got that, and you can't just turn it on every single. You know, how many QuickBooks Online company licenses are there in the world?
A lot.
You can't just turn it on.
No. And MailChimp licenses, and, you know, it's not, and,
exactly. And you
Credit Karma and everything else that's going to connect.
It's
right?
multiple products as well, isn't it? It's not just QuickBooks Online. It's everything. It's no different to what Sage are doing with Copilot, right? They didn't just go, yeah, we've got Copilot, we turn it on every single product.
Yeah. Yeah, I signed up for the wait list day one, but I knew I wasn't going to be in there straight away because why would they? Like, I've not got enough clients, I've not got enough to make any impact or anything.
But we know when we see the updates on, when they release updates to just general QuickBooks, they don't go on every single license straight away, do they? We've sat on this call and gone, oh, I've got this feature, and someone else has logged in and gone, I haven't got that, because it's rolled out methodically, isn't it? It's not, sometimes methodically, sometimes in just batches, because there's so many licenses. So a waiting list is a waiting list. Like, you sign up to waiting lists for everything else.
Yeah.
If it's that important, right?
And some people get really excited about waiting lists, like Amy, right?
Yeah, I'm happy to wait.
On the waiting list. I've just done it.
Oh, you just done it.
I was about to say, I saw you clicking. I thought he's doing it right now. I'm happy for it to be a wait list. I'd rather it work than we start using it and relying on it for, because I'm excited about the communication side of it, picking out all the information and like the emails that were going out to the clients and using it with MailChimp. So I'd rather it work first time. I've had issues this year with rollout of payroll, which I've probably vocalized on social media a lot. So I'd much rather it be tested and work. So I'm happy to wait. Just not a long time.
And they've got to get it right. They're probably looking at the people that are on the waiting list and looking at which people they want to use it, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's all great. You could have, how many did you say they were going to expect to sign up?
3 million they want to activate.
Exactly. And looking at the question, there's a couple of tick boxes at the bottom of the sign up, right? I'm just going to load up again. And we're a QuickBooks customer. Obviously, that's kind of a prerequisite.
Yeah.
But then you got the split of accountant, bookkeeper, or small business, right? They're going to want a mixture of both. If they just gave it to all the accountants, we've got a completely different use case to
than the end user. Yeah. And like I said, I've been on the waiting list with Copilot for ever since that came out, and I don't expect to be one of the people to be picked for it, but in the early stages. But at some point, they'll give me access to it. I can play around with it. Everyone else has fixed the bugs at that point, and everyone's happy.
Exactly, like Jax, right? That's what in beta at the moment.
Yeah, is it invite only still? I think it is. Is that right?
Yeah.
Which these things have to be, right? They have to be like that. Kirsty says she's just tested it. I think she's talking about the stock one. It does let them add to stock from that screen. So yes, nightmare for my eBay seller where it could go wrong. Exactly. Suddenly you can have this massive stock issue. So we're talking about AI. Jax is exactly the same. You have to go on and you have to join the waiting list. Yeah. Which I don't know anyone who's actually been accepted to that one yet, unless they were fully under NDAs and allowed to talk about it. Whereas I know people on the almost said Microsoft Copilot, the Sage Copilot one, because obviously they're not the same. We're not allowed to know that bit. And go from there. What was that? I ticked the box to be a bookkeeper and small business owner, and whatever the third one was. Oh, she just ticked them all. So Kirsty.
Customer.
She might just get herself in
any
there.
of the above. I'll be happy.
Because I'm imagining, right? You're going to have different. Obviously, it's going across. So in QBOA, you're going to have certain responses because obviously you can switch between accountant view and business view inside the license. It's going to probably give you different. It might even, if it's clever, it should be clever enough. It would probably phrase things differently. Same information, just phrased slightly different, I would imagine. Because the end client might not know what a liability and an asset and all that sort of stuff is. Anyway, they won't do
They'll do the drop downs like they did on the email, the formal, the informal. Yeah. What language do you want your whole QuickBooks to be in?
But you hope it's got things like that, right?
Yeah, 100%. But what we've seen though from Intuit Connect, there's got to be more excitement about Intuit Assist now, right? Yes, the others
get announced 2 years ago. Nearly.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Because when we were doing the tours. When we were on tour, that's when we were talking about it. So that's 2020. 23 in the UK. So it was before that the US, wasn't it? So yeah. But they have built it from scratch, right? So we can expect a longer lead time for this than some of the others, which potentially are taking a already built model and then adding on to it, aren't they? So we will
none of
see.
them are live. Like none of them are live, are they? Still, so
no, and none of them, from what we'll be able to build into the ecosystem quite like Intuit Assist, because they've been able to build it up. That's where the advantage we'll probably see from the others, but we'll see when they all come out.
Yeah.
Cool. Any more people on Intuit Assist and getting yourself signed up onto the waiting list? But everyone listening though, get yourself signed up, get in there. Look at any of my socials or anything lately. They've all got links there for you to go and get yourself signed up and go through from there. And we can go and see how it is. I'm just going through the notes. I don't think there was anything else we wanted to talk about. No, there isn't. So that's all good. Brilliant. So that's the end of today's episode. Amy, do you want to go first? Plug yourself. Where can people find you? What can they come in? Your podcast gone live again now, hasn't it?
So it's actually a video series, Being Counter to Boss with the ACCA.
So you're not classing it as a podcast anymore?
We've tried video this time. You can actually see us talking. I know, on YouTube, on the ACCA channel, Being Counter to Boss 2.0.
Love that.
Gone into video. And if anyone would like to send me an award, I'll be quite happy to receive it.
Well,
a nice one.
You're going to get yourself a what do you call it, aren't you? A top trump card. So you've got that.
Yes. I will be framing that. I'll put it in a little statue and have it behind me.
Simon, where can people find you? And plug yourself. Go for it.
I've got no events or awards or anything like that to plug, but you can find me on LinkedIn, and I occasionally do an update that Amy's only just found that I've wrote on LinkedIn. So, I occasionally put stuff on there, and start some conversation, and just find me on LinkedIn, really. And
you'll both be at the Accounting Council coming up, so that's potentially get some news out of there going forward. It'll be good to hear. So hopefully next week will be next month, should I say, will be a very exciting episode, as what you're allowed to talk about might be limited, but hopefully there'll be stuff there that can be shared to the world. I will definitely be excited to learn what's happened over at Accounting Council. But that's it. That is the end of today's episode. Can't believe that Intuit Connect's 2024 has been and gone already. Those big updates are out there. When we do get a chance to play with them, don't forget we'll be playing them live on stream. So next time you have an opportunity, why not come and watch us live like Kirsty has done throughout today. Thanks, everyone. We will see you next month for an exciting episode going forward.
Christmas episode. Is it Christmas episode?
Is it? Technically, well, it could be. Yeah, should be.
Maybe
really.
A special edition Christmas episode.
So we normally do a special edition where we rank all the features that have happened, and we try and
we might do that.
Could be next episode. Definitely brilliant. All right, so it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye for me.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.